Hi, today on Worth a Watch we're going to be reviewing the new Pagani Design Premium Christopher Ward Homage. Let's have a look. This watch is listed as the PD1672. I'll leave a link in the description below to the Pagani Design Official Store. You get a big leatherette box, polishing cloth, instruction manual, warranty card, hang tags. But we're not interested in the box, we're interested in the watch. So let's take a look. Diameter of this watch is 42mm. Has a lug to lug of 48mm with some curved end lugs. It fits nicely. Thickness with the box dome Sapphire is 14.6mm, which is quite thick, but without the Sapphire crystal, it is around about 12.5mm. It's got a crown size of 7mm. It's a nice grippy crown. The lug width is 20mm, and that tapers down to 18mm, back up to 19.7mm at the clasp. This Pagani Design logo etched horizontally on the clasp. And you've got some good quality double deployment pushers. On the face of the watch you've got loomed applied indices. Now the loom is actually a bit of a step up from previous, but it's still pretty average. It's a clear, bold design, a lovely subtle sunburst blue dial. The second hand touches the second markers all the way around, it just kisses them. It's a really nice touch. Piece of box dome sapphire crystal, a ceramic insert, and a bezel with a coin edge, which they've finished off with a kind of a bead blasted edge on it. There's some fine brushing on the case, and there's a really nice polished chamfered edge, which is a noticeable step up in finishing from the old sub homages. There seems to be a lack of AR coating, which is pretty obvious, but the clear layout means it's always fully legible. The Christopher Ward style short spear hour hand is distinctive alongside the tapered minute hand. Pagani Design logo is at the top and Auto Diver 100m at the bottom. It has a high quality bracelet with solid links, solid end links and screw pins. Fully milled scissor clasp, good side pushers and 3 levels of micro adjust. Oyster style bracelet with brushed outer links and polished center links. It's a step up from your average AliExpress offering. Decent level of fine brushing on the case, signed crown, chamfered edging, different choice of bead blasted finish on the bezel, ceramic bezel insert and domed sapphire. It keeps a display case back. I've tried to get you more of a macro closer look at the finishing on the signed crown, the crown guards and the bezel. There's a nice bit of vintage distortion on the side view of the domed sapphire. I don't know if Jody at Just One More Watch had a dud, but the 60-click unidirectional bezel that I've got has a nice ratchet, virtually no backplay, and I'm really trying to force it here. A definite improvement on my previous Pagani subs. The female end links and curved lugs fit most wrists. The clasp is really nicely done. It's got double deployment pushers. It's got 3 levels of micro adjust. Just one thing to be a little bit aware of is the bottom of these clasps. The one I've got at least was a little bit sharp. It just seemed like it needed to be filed down slightly. It's not a massive deal, but it is a little bit sharp. Solid milled clasp, really good. I've put it onto a £20 Gakota leather strap here. I think it looks really nice. To be fair, it's going nowhere near the water, so it does give you a different option. And again, this is kind of a Christopher Ward Dartmouth look as well on the leather. I think it looks quite nice. Now let's cover an elephant in the room. Jody at One More Watch, you mentioned that it was a bit of a flimsy diver's extension that was included with the bracelet. I think it's a sweaty day extension, or I do a lot of cycling. I like to put my watch on the outside of my jacket, so for me, it works. Here's a shot of the display case back, NH35 as expected, 24 joules, 100 meters water resistance. For the silly colour monk shoe, I've got the diamond selected 2 out, put it on my Seiko with hardlex, my Hamilton with sapphire, and it is indeed sapphire on the Pagani. We're always And here's what the bracelet looks like, resized for my 6 3/4 inch wrist. I think it looks really good. I also like the date window, and it's got no cyclops. If you're looking for a dive watch which is certified by PADI, it's 200 meters of water resistance, it's got fantastic loom and a loom pip, then go and buy a Seiko PADI Turtle. You can pick them up now for between about 350 to 400 pounds UK. They're a fantastic watch. I've got one. Go out and buy it, and thanks for watching. Leave a like and subscribe. Okay, you're still here. So if, like me, the closest thing you're going to get to diving is diving into a box of chocolates, and you're looking for a dive style watch that you're using in the office, something that looks great when you dress up or can be dressed down with something like a leather strap, then I think you couldn't go far wrong with this Pagani design. It's been compared to an Oris diver by a few people, but I personally think it's an absolute spitting image for a Christopher Ward Dartmouth, a C65. Now, that watch retails for between, I think it's about £950 and £1,000 UK. This watch is a little tad over £100. I think at the moment it's retailing at £104.74. So it's a tenth of the price of the Christopher Ward. It's got most of the aesthetic. It looks fantastic. It feels a little bit special on. I've worn it for a whole week now, and you can tell it's a real step up from the previous Paganis. It looks different than the usual Rolex or Tudor homages, and I think you can't really go wrong for the money. So you may have noticed at the beginning of the video that it's a sponsored video. The Pagani Design Official Store sent me this watch for free, under the proviso that I provide a honest and thorough review. And in the spirit of that, I've wrote down a few notes about possible improvements. I've actually worn this watch for a week. I've really enjoyed it, but there are, on a £100 watch, some things that could be improved, as there would be on a £10,000 Rolex. Now, some of the things I've mentioned on it is the edges at the bottom of the clasp. The clasp is very well done, but the actual base of it, the edges are a little bit sharp. Now, not sharp enough for it to be uncomfortable, but it was sharp enough for me to mention it. The second thing that I've made a note on is drilled lugs would be fantastic on this. Now, I know that it's based on the Christopher Ward, and that doesn't have drilled lugs either, so maybe it's a bit of an aesthetic choice, but it would be nice because it looks beautiful on a leather strap. I've tried it on a sailcloth strap as well. It's a bit of a strap monster, this, so next time it would be great to see that from Pagani on the premium side. I'm not gonna have an issue with there being no loom pip or loom bezel, and on the Christopher Ward original it's actually just the triangle that has a little bit of loom, but it would have been nice to just have the triangle loomed next time. It doesn't really bother me if it's a daily wear, but it just would have been a nice to have. If there is AR coating on it, it's not really working that greatly. You get a lot of reflection off the dome Sapphire. Now, the good thing about this watch is the indices are so pronounced that you don't really notice that much of an issue. It's quite an easy to read dial, but I would imagine on the Seiko Star one that perhaps it'd be a little bit more difficult to see them. So a bit more AR coating would have been nice, so next time it'd be a great addition. And I think just an aesthetic choice for me, which is a personal preference, is if that second hand had a little bit of a pop of colour, something slightly different, like a bit of red or bright orange, it really set off this, but it's got that vintage vibe about it. It's, you know, the Christopher Ward is based on a Seamaster 300 anyway, at the big triangle, I believe, so I think it's trying to stay true to that vintage style. Definitely recommend the watch. I think that it's very clever at Pagani design. You can feel it's a bit special, and the fit and finish is a lot better than the sub homages that they've done before. There's currently a noticeable lack of £100 to £150 quality Chinese watches available to buy. The other Chinese brands from this niche have recently upped the prices to over £200. Pagani Design are making a smart move in filling in this void. Once you're talking over £200, it's a real conversation then over, are you going to go for an original brand versus a Chinese homage? I've got a Hamilton khaki field mechanical, and when I bought it, it was close to £500. you can pick them up at just over £300 now. So am I really going to buy a Chinese Homage watch at £250 to £300? It's a difficult question to answer, whereas this, just over £100, great fit and finish. I would highly recommend it to anyone.